friends, good evening. Welcome to my YouTube channel Inhale Academy. Friends, today we will discuss antepartum hemorrhage. What do you mean by antepartum hemorrhage? Heavy amount of bleeding from genital tract after 28 weeks of gestation to before of the delivery. 28 weeks to delivery, if bleeding is occur, then that is known as antepartum hemorrhage. In antepartum hemorrhage, there is heavy bleeding occurs. Then during delivery, if heavy bleeding occurs, this is known as intrapartum hemorrhage. Then after delivery to 6 weeks, if there is heavy bleeding occur, this is known as postpartum hemorrhage. Then discuss about types of antepartum hemorrhage. There are two types of antepartum hemorrhage. First one is placenta previa, next one is abruptio placenta. Here previa means position. Placenta previa means mismatch of placental position. Normally, this is the uterus, this is the fallopian tube, this is the placenta, this is internalus. Normally, the placenta is implanted in posterior part of the uterus or posterior wall of the uterine cavity. But in placenta previa, the position is mismatched, means the placenta is not implanted in posterior wall of the uterus. The placenta is implanted in lower uterine segment. This is called placenta previa. Then, what is abruptio placenta? Abruptio placenta means premature separation of placenta before term delivery. Here, the placenta is prematurely separated before delivery. Here, heavy bleeding occurs from genital tract. It is the most common cause of antepartum hemorrhage. Next, we go for etiology of placenta previa. First one is idiopathic, means unknown. The cause is not known. Then next one is dropping down theory. Some scientists gave some theory like dropping down theory and increased ciliary activity of fallopian tube. First one is dropping down theory. After fertilization of ovum, it drove into lower uterine segment and implanted in lower uterine segment due to less endometrial reaction. But normally the fertilized ovum is implanted in posterior wall of the uterus. But in dropping down theory, after fertilization of ovum, the fertilized ovum is dropping down towards lower uterine segment and implanted in lower uterine segment. This is called dropping down theory. The next, increased ciliary activity of fallopian tube. Due to increased ciliary activity of fallopian tube, the fertilized ovum or zygote speedily transport to uterus and implantation in lower uterine segment instead of posterior wall of the uterus. Here the fertilized ovum is not implanted in posterior wall of the uterus. It should be implanted in lower uterine segment. Then we discuss about types of placenta previa. There are 4 types of placenta previa. Type 1 placenta previa, type 2 placenta previa, type 3 placenta previa and type 4 placenta previa. This is the normal uterus. This is placenta. This is internalus. In normal uterus, the placenta is implanted in posterior wall of the uterus. But here in placenta previa cases, the placenta is not implanted in its right position. It should be mismatch of its position. The placenta should be implanted here and there, means mismatch of its position. So, first we discuss about type 1 placenta previa. What are the abnormality which are seen in implant or of placenta? In the type 1 placenta previa is otherwise known as low-lying placenta previa. Here, the major part of the placenta is in upper uterine segment. The major part of the placenta is upper uterine segment and small part of the placenta is lower uterine segment. But the placenta does not cover the internal os. Here is internal os. The placenta does not cover the internal os. Only most of the part is in the upper uterine segment and some part is in the lower uterine segment, but in normal cases the placenta is implanted in posterior wall of the uterus. So this is the abnormality. Here the placenta does not cover internal loss and normal delivery is possible in type 1 placenta previa or low lying placenta previa. Then discuss about type 2 placenta previa. Type 2 placenta previa is otherwise known as marginal placenta previa. Type 2 placenta previa is otherwise known as marginal placenta previa. Here most of the placental part in the lower uterine segment. Most of the placental part in the lower uterine segment and some part is upper uterine segment. Type 2 placenta previa is subdivided into two types. First one type is type 2 anterior placenta previa. Here the implantation of placenta towards the symphysis pubis. Normal delivery is possible in type 2 anterior placenta previa. Second category is type 2 posterior placenta previa. Type 2 posterior placenta previa. Here implantation of placenta towards the sacral promontory. Due to the placenta towards sacral promontory, there is decrease of anterior-posterior diameter of inlet, which causes compress of the fetal head. That leads to decrease the fetal heart rate. Type 2 posterior placenta previa is otherwise known as dangerous placenta previa or still over the side. Normal delivery is not possible in type 2 posterior placenta previa. This has two subcategory. Type 2 anterior placenta previa and type 2 posterior placenta previa. Then we discuss about type 3 placenta previa. Type 3 placenta previa is otherwise known as incomplete placenta previa or partial placenta previa. Here implantation of placenta over the internal os. This is internal os. Implantation of placenta over the internal os partially or incompletely. Here the placenta should not be completely encroaches the internal os. The placenta is partially cover the internal os. So this is called incomplete or partial placenta previa. Don't cover fully the internal os. Normal delivery is not possible here. So cesarean section should be conducted here. Then next, type 4 placenta previa. Type 4 placenta previa is otherwise known as complete placenta previa. Here implantation of placenta completely over the internal os, means the placenta fully encroaches the internal os. But the normal placental position is in posterior wall of the uterus. Normal delivery is not possible in type 4 placenta previa. Clinical features of placenta previa. First one clinical features is painless vaginal bleeding. Women cannot feel pain during vaginal bleeding. The next one is causeless bleeding. Next one is bleeding is not associated with activity. Next one is uterus become soft when you are palpated. The next one is bleeding in resting condition. The next one is bleeding is bright red in color. These are the clinical features of placenta previa. Then we should go for diagnostic evaluation for placenta previa. Diagnostic evaluation means what are the investigation we should do for placenta previa. First one is placentography. Placentography means examination of placenta under ultrasound. Most important thing is that PB is not allowed in placenta previa because in placenta previa the placenta is implanted in lower uterine segment. If PB is done, there is chance of premature separation of placenta and heavy amount of bleeding occurs. So double set of examination is done here instead of per vagina. What is double set of examination? Double set of examination is per vagina done in OT. Why? Because if bleeding occurs in OT, we can manage it easily. So double set of examination is done in placenta previa to avoid excessive bleeding and to avoid patient is going for shock. Then what are the management of placenta previa? There are two management. First one is expected management. Next one is active management. If female is hemodynamically stable, then we go for expected management. If female is hemodynamically unstable, then we go for active management. In expected management, there are also two conditions. If gestational age less than 37 weeks, then continue the pregnancy till up to 37 weeks. Because the female is already hemodynamically stable. Another condition is if gestational age is more than 37 weeks, then we go for normal vaginal delivery. If normal vaginal delivery is not possible, then we should go for cesarean section. Then next we discuss about active management. In active management, the female is hemodynamically unstable. Here also two conditions occur. First one is type 1. First one condition is for type 1 placenta previa and type 2 anterior placenta previa. Here normal delivery is possible by giving oxytocin for induction of labor. The next one is we should go for premature rupture of membrane to start delivery process. Here normal delivery is conducted. If normal delivery is not conducted or if normal delivery is impossible, then we should go for cesarean section also. One important thing is that if the gestational age of the baby is less than 34 weeks, then the fetal lung is immature. So we should give betamethasone 12 to 24 mg before 12 to 24 hours of delivery for maturity of lungs. If distance between placenta and internal os is more than 3 cm, then normal delivery is possible. If distance between placenta and internal os is less than 3 cm, then we should go for cesarean section. In placenta previa, which position should be given? You always give reverse Trendelenburg position to control bleeding. How reverse Trendelenburg position control bleeding? In reverse Trendelenburg position, female head elevated and fetus should be descend downward and compress the bleeding side. Then bleeding is controlled. So reverse Trendelenburg position is given in placenta previa. Then another condition, type 2 posterior placenta previa, type 3 placenta previa and type 4 placenta previa. There is no option for normal vaginal delivery. You always go for cesarean section. Friends, this much for today's topic. Hope you will like this video. For more informative video, please do like, subscribe and share. Thank you.